WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry feels Goldberg didn't earn his title opportunity against Roman Reigns and that the storyline should have been built better. He thinks that the program feels forced right now. Goldberg returned on the recent WWE SmackDown show for the first time since his match against Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel in October last year. The Hall of Famer challenged Reigns to a match at the Elimination Chamber show. On a recent Busted Open podcast, Mark Henry discussed Goldberg's return to WWE television and his match against Reigns later this month. Henry believes Goldberg didn't earn his shot at the title, and him being thrown into a title match doesn't make sense. I love Bill as a person and as a man and as a father, and he's built up equity in himself as a talent. That never goes away. But sometimes it's better used when you're trying to enhance, bring light to a situation and let somebody else be the mentor. There's power in giving. They're putting Bill in a spot where he's taking, and it's not like he earned the #1 contendership. If we saw him 3 weeks prior knocking off Kevin Owens, knocking off a Drew McIntyre, and then him saying, "Okay, Roman, I've knocked off the top guys in your company. It's time me and you square up for that title." It's like, let's just throw Bill in there. When you push it down people's throat, they don't like it. They rebel. It's not Bill's fault that the people in Jeddah want to see him. I would do it, but I would prepare everybody for it, said Mark Henry. The Hall of Famer feels that WWE should have conditioned people into wanting Goldberg in a program in the company, rather than pushing him down the throat of fans. Roman Reigns and Goldberg were supposed to face off against each other at WrestleMania 36 in 2020, when the latter was the Universal Champion. The match, though, was cancelled as the Tribal Chief took time off due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Goldberg eventually faced Braun Strowman at the Show of Shows in 2020, who defeated the Hall of Famer to win the Universal Championship. The title was then won by Bray Wyatt, who later lost it to Reigns at the Payback show in August 2020. The Shane McMahon saga just won't fade away as fresh updates from the Royal Rumble have now surfaced, courtesy of Fightful Select. Shane O'Mac reportedly got into a humorous situation with Randy Orton at the Rumble as their spots in the match were allegedly reversed. Shane McMahon was originally set to come at number 29, while Randy Orton was slated for the 28th spot. Sources revealed that McMahon reacted hastily after his entrance song started playing instead of the Viper. Randy Orton informed Shane that he would not make his entrance to the Here Comes the Money theme, which indicated that McMahon had to go out to the ring earlier than he expected. It's been widely reported that Shane rubbed several people the wrong way as he wanted to book the Royal Rumble match around himself. Fightful verified the report and confirmed that Shane O'Mac wanted to enter the Royal Rumble in a spot that would highlight him. The former SmackDown personality pitched the plan to come in at number 1, but Vince McMahon did not favor the pitch and instantly shut it down. It was said that Vince McMahon wasn't happy after learning of Shane McMahon's preparations for the Royal Rumble, and he personally made it a point to change the plans laid out by his son. Brock Lesnar was also not too pleased with McMahon's inputs, and the two superstars even had an altercation, as we had previously reported via the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Despite Shane's reported insistence on pushing his ideas, Vince McMahon and his team ensured that the Rumble didn't pan out according to Shane's vision. As things stand, Shane has been quietly let go by WWE, and while he might never work for the company again, he could be back once the backstage heat dies down. Shane McMahon's WWE exit has been the hottest topic of discussion in professional wrestling, and the reactions to the shocking development continue to flood the internet. Vince Russo took to Twitter and teased the possibility of Shane O'Mac starting his own promotion. The wrestling veteran said the time was perfect for McMahon to use his experience and gather all the resources required to set up a wrestling company. The former WWE writer also took shots at Vince McMahon and Tony Khan as he felt that Shane was not a mark, unlike the two biggest promoters. Here's what Vince Russo tweeted, just throwing this out there. Maybe it's time for Shane Quinn to start his own wrestling promotion. He has the experience, funds, know-how and intelligence. Plus he's not a mark and certainly not an AH like the other two current promoters. I'd be the first one to support him, wrote Vince Russo. The former tag team champion returned as a competitor and producer for the men's match at the Royal Rumble. McMahon's creative suggestions didn't get a favorable backstage reception from the talent as he reportedly wanted to book the Royal Rumble around himself. Vince McMahon shot down multiple pitches from his son, including the idea of entering the match at the number 1 spot. Brock Lesnar also disagreed with Shane McMahon over the closing moments of the Royal Rumble, and reports state that Vince McMahon supported the Beast Incarnate's booking vision. Multiple outlets have noted that McMahon is no longer associated with the WWE, and the writing team has since nixed all the original WrestleMania plans for him. Shane McMahon grew up in the wrestling industry, and there was a time when he was considered the heir apparent to Vince McMahon's throne. The reality of the situation seems to be completely different now within WWE, But could Shane O'Mac realistically establish his own wrestling organization? Sound off in the comments section below. WWE superstar Brock Lesnar broke 2 records following his win in the Men's Royal Rumble match last month. Lesnar entered the match last and quickly eliminated 5 WWE superstars to win the Royal Rumble match for the 2nd time in his career. The Beast Incarnate eliminated celebrity Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, Riddle, Randy Orton, and finally Drew McIntyre to win the match. As per Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Lesnar set 2 new records at the show when he won the Men's Royal Rumble match. The longest time between winning the match twice, 19 years. The least time spent in the ring to win the match, 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Edge had previously held the record for the least amount of time spent in a Rumble match by the winner, a feat he achieved in 2010. He was in the ring for 7 minutes and 37 seconds. Lesnar has already chosen his opponent for WrestleMania 38 following his Royal Rumble win, picking Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The Beast Incarnate, though, could have the opportunity to enter the AT&T Stadium, the venue of WrestleMania, as the WWE Champion. Lesnar is one of 6 opponents set to feature in the Elimination Chamber match, where Bobby Lashley's title will be on the line. Recent reports have indicated that Vince McMahon may be interested in a title versus title match at WrestleMania, which means that Lesnar may win back the title later this month from Lashley. This year's Elimination Chamber show will take place at the Jeddah Superdome in Saudi Arabia on February 19th. WrestleMania 38 will be a 2-day event once again and will take place on April 2nd and April 3rd, 2022. Arguably the most shocking WWE release of last year was Bray Wyatt. The 2-time Universal Champion was released on July 31, 2021, and has since been away from the limelight. We now have the latest picture of Wyatt, who looks in great shape. The picture also has actor Skylar Astin and AEW's ring announcer Justin Roberts. The Eater of Worlds was one of WWE's biggest stars and top merchandise sellers ahead of his shocking release last year. He took his popularity to the next level by introducing the Fiend gimmick in WWE along with amazing storytelling. However, what once seemed to be an unstoppable supernatural force lost credibility due to poor booking. The reason initially reported for Bray Wyatt's WWE release was budget cuts. However, Dave Meltzer later reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE released a major star like him because he wanted out and made a lot of noise. Bray Wyatt is a completely different situation. Wyatt scared a lot of people because if someone like Wyatt gets fired, then only guys like Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and Brock Lesnar are safe. I think that's not really the case when you are at that level. The only reason someone would want to cut someone like that would be if they wanted out and made a lot of noise about it. Ever since his WWE release, fans have been wanting to see Wyatt debut in AEW. His non-compete clause with WWE has been over for months now, but the former Universal Champion hasn't shown up on AEW or any other wrestling promotion. Meanwhile, he's been announced to appear at WrestleCon 2022 alongside several former WWE superstars.